For so long, we've been here, we've been trying to break.
Hi there, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Springboard Hangout. The Springboard Hangout, as you know, is your fun educative program where we have fun and learn about different issues that pertain and have some bearing on our lives. You know, it is said that every single year, about 300 people enter the job market seeking for jobs that are seemingly non-existent. That sad story, you know, is something that we want to tackle today because in addition to that, we are told the agribusiness or agriculture holds the golden key to youth unemployment in terms of making sure people have viable jobs in there. Therefore, tonight, we're finding out, is that true? And if it is, what can we do to harness the potential of that opportunity? Today we have in studio Maureen Erekua Odoi. She's a friend from 100 years. More importantly, she says she's actually pursuing her PhD in agribusiness. Therefore, I think she's the right person to bring in here for us to tell us all the nitty-gritty details about what I am claiming. Maybe she'll tell me that no, it is not true. And therefore, Maureen is actually the CEO of African Aurora Limited. They are one of those who are into entrepreneurship, training people in business, and so on and so forth. So you have a beautiful mix, somebody who is in agri, somebody who trains people in entrepreneurship, and everything in between. We will be going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we shall see. Maureen, is it true or not true? Don't go anywhere. Stay there and call somebody to join us tonight. Tonight promises to be not just revealing, but very, very exciting. Who wants to be a millionaire? Don't go anywhere. We're back.
I've got what I've got, you've got what you've got. Keep your red wine, I'll sip my soup. Keep your slim girl, I love my overload. Everyone knows that life is hard, that's why we're working hard. And we don't want to live with the sorrow, all we want is the better tomorrow. Well, I've got what I've got, you've got what you've got. Keep your red wine, I'll sip my soup. Keep your slim girl, I love my overload. Everyone knows that life is hard, but that's why we're working hard. And we don't want to live with this song. All we want is a better tomorrow. Just like the parable in the Bible, where the master gave us talents to his servants. Don't sit there wishing you had one. Who knows, you got 5 and I only have 1. Work with what you have, work with what you got. Love the life you live the life you love. If you concentrate on the things you do not have, you might never ever have enough. So I've got, you've got what you've got. Keep your red wine, I'll sip my soul. Keep your slim girl, I love my overload. Everyone knows that life is hard, but that's why we're working hard. And we don't want to live with this sorrow. All we want is a better tomorrow. The Browns are fighting again. They've waited too long for a cry of a pain. They have it all, but all they pray for is a gift of a baby. My friend Atungo lives in the Zongo. All he owns is an old Buzanga Volvo. He's got 9 kids, he's still expecting. He can barely provide for his family. The rich, the struggle, the poor, the hustle. But my party, nowhere easy. somewhere easier. So, work with what you have, work with what you got. Love the life you live the life you love, easy. Concentrate on the things you do not have. Never ever have enough, yeah. Just work with what you have, work with what you got. Love the life you live the life you love, easy. Concentrate on the things you do not have. Never ever have enough, oh,
Welcome back to the Springboard Hangout. We are hanging out today with Maureen. Maureen is going to tell us all about agriculture, agribusiness, the agri-value chain, youth unemployment, everything in between. So let's get started. Maureen, welcome.
Thank you, Lady Comfort. Such a pleasure to be with you here today.
Great. Now, this is the first time someone is... So I don't know about this lady's LC thing.
I know, you look so cool. I can't believe I'm seeing you like this. You look so cool.
Oh, but it's interesting. You know, we
The
got the
colours,
gold
right?
going on.
You're in the spirit.
Yeah, you know. So, but Maureen, you know, we're talking about very, very serious issue here. How big, I mean, really, how big is the youth unemployment thing for us?
It's really big. But let's start by looking at, anyway, thank you so much for having me in your studio today. Youth, how do we define youth?
Okay.
I mean, there are different definitions for youth, but according to our own Ghanaian standards, we're saying there's age 15 to 35. Mm-hmm. Others are looking at 15 to 24. So if you are young, means you are within these ages in Ghana, 15 to 24 or 15 to 35. Well,
so let's take the 35 because that is more inclusive.
I know, more inclusive. Right, so with that in mind, it just brings us to the point that if we are talking about youth unemployment, then it presupposes that young people who may have finished secondary school or SHS, university, technical universities, polytechnics, in between diplomas, all these people actually come out of school within this age range. So as you said rightly, if 300,000 young people are churned out year after year, what does it mean? Does it mean that there are equally good jobs waiting for these graduates for whichever level, secondary, senior, university? The question is no, and that is why it's a very big issue. The question is big no. Now, can you imagine?
The answer is...
So that is what makes it very scary because our children are in that age bracket.
Definitely.
So you think about it and you're like, wow, after investing in your children for all these years, then they finish school around 23, 24, and they are home. And when you ask them, oh, Cyril, what's going on? I have tried. I'm not getting a job. How would you feel as a parent? Of course, you're not going to feel good. And it's not only the parents. The community looks at you strangely. You said you went to the university. You have a first degree, you have a second degree, you went to all these fancy schools. And you are still home like me. Okay, so...
Okay. Did you what? Did you come?
Exactly.
You're really speaking to somebody this evening.
But it's a very serious issue.
Yeah.
Then beyond the community comes the people. You go to church, everybody's looking at you strangely. You go to everywhere, everyone's looking at you. Then the government is burdened because the government, remember, has invested in infrastructure, in school, in teachers, in doctors, everyone to take care of you from age 0 to 24. And the government is not getting any tax from you.
Return.
You know, so
on the investment.
That makes it a very critical issue for everyone in this country to look at. In Ghana, there are two types of unemployment. There is unemployment where you don't have anything doing, and then there's underemployment. Among the youth, we had about 12% unemployment. So can you imagine 300,000 coming out, 12% of them Nothing
coming.
Over 50% of them under employment.
So really, the return on investment is very low. That means that you're getting just about less than 30% who you can actually say, oh, are employed.
So tax-wise, it has an implication for our own development as a country. It means you can't do anything else. We don't have resources to invest. When things get broken, we can't fix it as a country. When our roads go bad, we can't fix it. And that begins a cycle of poverty. So youth unemployment is a really big issue. But can you imagine if every one of them gets a job? What happens is that all this money is coming from taxes and all that is coming back into the economy. System. Your family is resourced. You can take care of other people. You can pay your tithes. You can pay your taxes. You can do investments. The banks, everyone begins to benefit from you. But with the current situation, not only in Ghana, but the whole of Africa and other parts of the world, it is a big issue.
I guess that is what we call the multiplier effect. And the multiplier effect, this one, is being shown in the negative rather than in the positive, where it brings about the economy growing. Now, you said something about how bad the situation is presently is in Ghana and in Africa, I presume. Can we now I want us to choose to add on the burden of COVID and and other underdevelopment issues. Do these help or do these add and compound the problem that we're already facing as a continent?
Well, the question is a big yes.
And how does that, what impact does that come about? How comes after that?
So let's just assume for once that, okay, already you have 12% of unemployed young people, 50% of them underemployed home. And then suddenly the factories, the industries that are working will have to shut down, which means more people will stay at home. So for those who are already working, they have also gone to add. So suddenly the economy is slowly coming to a halt.
Grinding.
Exactly. There's nothing happening. So incomes are gone. Well-being, mental well-being is affected.
Yeah.
Because you are home.
You're anxious.
You're anxious.
Where
you are
your next
hungry.
You're coming from.
People are dependent on you if you are taking care of your parents or you're taking care of other people. So slowly the economy becomes some way. And then you realize that suddenly people lose interest in life. So you see suicidal tendencies, crime, you see vices, you see a whole lot of it comes back to haunt all of us. So COVID has really worried us. But we have to do something.
So we have to do this. So how can agribusiness or agriculture be the silver bullet for Africa? Because I did hear that it can come to the value of about 1 trillion by the end of this decade. How can it be that silver bullet that we need to really galvanize Ghana, to galvanize our continent?
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because you see, when COVID broke, and as much as we went through all these issues, one thing that we didn't realize was happening was that we were all dependent on our own economy to eat. And that's the most, I think that's the most phenomenal thing that has happened to us as Africa and as Ghana. Because suddenly we remembered the soil. Suddenly we remembered that, hey, we can go back to our lands. We can feed ourselves. So though the supply chains were broken, we couldn't import all the nice Quaker oats and stuff, we went back to our cocoa. We went back to our kose. We were eating healthier. We were shorter supply chains. We were not putting things in fridges and freezers, because really, where are you getting it from to freeze? You get it fresh, you eat. The markets were open. The women were doing brisk business. And so for me, agribusiness, I think, is something that we need to now look at as our gold. It has to move from silver to gold.
Yes. So
that everyone begins to look at it. So, okay, we know we eat banku. Is that all that maize is good for? Or kenke? That is $1 million investment sitting there. So this is where the young people who are energetic, who have ideas, innovations, dreams, aspirations, we need to channel their energies into agribusiness, not by force, of course, but helping them to rethink and helping them use their creativity to bring something interesting to food and see how we can move it beyond our economies and our communities to the next level. So COVID was good for us in that regard because it showed us that we can do it.
We can do it. Now, Maureen, you're talking about a shift. Now, where is that shift going to balance, or is that going to face? You know, whenever you shift anything, let's say this thing I have it facing here, I can shift it, for instance, to face this way. Where is that going to come from? Do we need young people? I mean, you've actually articulated that the young people should go inside, but they think agriculture is, they have such a negative perspective about agriculture. Why? And how do we start changing that narrative?
Well, I would say it started already. You know why? Because when COVID hit, suddenly it became apparent that people really were hungry. So anything they had to eat, they were grateful for. Now, that shift has happened already. And interestingly, as I was walking in here, I met this young lady, had this wonderful product made from lemongrass.
Yeah.
I've always been praying, when will we start exporting lemongrass? In my house, I always cut it up, dry it, and I drink it as my tea. I don't buy anybody's tea. So when I saw her, I was so super excited. So that shift has happened. Younger ones are beginning. But importantly, we need policy change. We need policy. We need to get all levels, all stakeholders involved in making that shift. From policy, from governments, getting our development partners to complement government's effort in terms of investments, information, documentation, anything that will help the government implement some of those great policies. If you recall, just before COVID broke, our new planting for food and jobs.
Policy, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It was amazing. You go to Malata Market and there's fresh food all over the place. You know, and you're like, suddenly, how come we used to have fresh food, but it was like throughout the year. So indirectly, prices dropped and everybody could enjoy good food. I mean, good food, affordable prices. So you see, the government started something. It was great. We wish it had continued for like 4, 5, 10 years. Then the young people will see so much. Then they'll begin to add value, because if they go to the market and they see, let's say, red plantains. I love red plantains. I buy it, cut it up, spice it up, and put it in the freezer, and I'm eating it. Somebody can do that as a business and put it in all the chains, all the shopping malls, and people will just pick, fry, and they are fine, kelewele on the go, you know. But if it comes this year and next year there's no food, then it's not consistent. They can't rely on it. So what we're saying is that shift must come from policy. Then we must go down to the young people and create awareness and engage them, provide them with some basic resources, and help them to start thinking aloud, experimenting, giving them grants. Some will definitely fail, but at least some of them will see others are making progress. They will get a bit green-eyed and say, okay, let me also try something, you know. So that those role models will begin to bring other people in, and when they see they're beginning to get a bigger business, they're branding, they are putting it in they'll begin to say, well, I think she was my schoolmate, so don't you think I can also do better? Then it will begin to influence other young people, and especially those from the universities. They're smarter, they have access to information, and the technologies at their fingertips. There's so much that they can do because they have the knowledge, and then they can employ the other younger ones.
So then you have, I like the way you move from the Magalata or the Mokala market to the mall. And I can see, and you were touching this, there's some value addition. So now let's sit down and unpack. I presume any business thrives on some form of value chain operating in the system. Can you take us through what does the agri value chain look like?
Okay, thank you. So, interestingly, sometimes you mentioned something that I think I'd like to go back quickly to. Agriculture, then you hear agribusiness. It's the same. So people use this interchangeably, but they are not the same.
Okay.
So agriculture, I like to look at it from this angle of a way of life. So in the olden days, we have all our folks out there, and for them it was a way of life. They lived in a community where their main economic activity was to grow food, eat some, the rest they sell. So it was a way of life. But they had their main crops like cocoa, like rubber, you know, those exportable cash crops. So that was their main focus. But the rest was let's eat and then the rest will sell. So it was a very relaxed way of doing agriculture. But in this day, no. Now we are looking at agribusiness. It goes beyond just production. It goes to the next level of, you know, distribution, marketing, financing, processing, value addition, exporting, name it. Everything beyond the agriculture is agribusiness. Now, agribusiness is very broad and very wide. Why? Because there are several commodities in that chain. We have maize. Just take maize alone. And I can almost say that with so much surety that I can challenge anyone that maize alone has the capacity to provide 300,000 jobs in a year. Yes. Maize alone.
How?
Yes.
Okay, so today, I mean, we have to put heads to a challenge. I mean, because I remember when I put the post out for tonight's program, somebody was saying that I don't have a job, and I said, so let me meet you tonight. So I hope you are there, you are listening, because she's saying that she has 300,000 jobs for us in maize alone. We are lifting at maize because it's a cereal based on maize. So now the challenge begins. Oh yeah, tell us, how do we get 300,000? So in essence, what you're saying is that we have solved the whole graduate unemployment with just one agric product. Okay. Song gone.
Okay, so you see, we have several commodities. Let's take maize, for example. So if you're talking about agriculture and maize, there are several actors just in the agriculture part. There are those who sell the inputs. We're starting from the other part of the chain. So those who sell the agric inputs, there are people who just sell the seed, the maize seed. Some produce the maize seed. And the government institution responsible for this is the PPRSD. And then there are private sector actors and shops, smaller shops who just sell seed. So when farmers are looking, for example, for good... Sorry. There are various varieties of climate tolerant, disease tolerant. There are so many things. They can go to these shops and just buy those seeds that are good for their environment. So you can be an actor either producing seed or even selling the seed or retailing the seed. That is one. The next level, those who even just help farmers. There are people called gang farm hands. 4 or 5 young people form a gang and they just come to the communities and say, okay, we can help you to cultivate your farm if you want to do a maize farm. So they just take your maize seeds, they go and weed, then they plant, then they are off. You pay them and off they go. So you can be a farmer without even going to the farm. Okay, you have an acre, 2, 10 acres. They are gangs of young people. All they do is to come over, help you, and then you cultivate your farm. They can come intermittently to come and weed and stuff like that. Beyond that, there are some who have shifted using technology. They are using bigger tractors. So there's a company called Tractor. It's a driver, Tractor, good. So he will bring his technology, come in, just use the tractor, weed everything for you, and then you can sow your maize.
Whatever plant.
And then off you go.
We are looking at maize. Yes,
maize.
Yeah.
All right. So you see, already I've mentioned about 3 or 4 areas, and every ecological zone will have special types of seed that you can use. So you move on from there. When it comes to the harvesting, there are so many people who can just come in as a gang. I started a farm during COVID. Then I realized that there's so much opportunity in this country. You know, and the maize.
Can you repeat it again? Can you repeat it? That there are so many opportunities.
So many opportunities. I've been doing agribusiness for God knows how, but when I decided to have a farm, then I realized, oh, this is very interesting. I went into this community. I just mobilized the young people, told them what I wanted to do, and then they became my friends. Then I started teaching them and talking to them about stuff. And then they became my friends on the farm, and then we started. So that's how we started our agribusiness school. All right? So from there, you can get them to come and harvest for you. You pay them. They will the husk for you. Yeah. They will peel for you. I even got a group of young girls. All they did was to come and just what do you call it? They have a way of just using the, what do you call it? The thing that they use to hit the fufu. What is it called? The pestle. They use it, and then they use a big dadesen. So when they put the corn inside, they just hit it, and all the corn just comes off the husk. I had never seen that technology before. So beyond that, there's the equipment where you can hire equipment. There are big equipment that can dehusk. So you see, there are so many opportunities, both manual and technology related, that you can use to do that. Beyond that, there's the milling. I can tell you, if you go to certain areas, all they do is to just fry the maize for people and get paid. There are so many millers in Ghana. They are just milling corn for banku, for kenke. They are all there. What bars young people to come up with a better enterprise than what is in the marketplaces? What bars them to set up a nice, high-tech shop where all they do is milling? People will just collect their corn, bring it and mill it in a very clean environment.
You become an aggregator.
Exactly. That is what must be done. So every region, every young person has the potential to take one commodity and begin to question, what can I do with these? And then begin to add ideas, get other people, get investors, and start doing stuff. Beyond that, you can take the same maize. Now it's milled or it's fried. You can decide to be a cocoa ken who buys the maize from somewhere, and that's a cocoa, package it beautifully and provide breakfast to corporates. You can decide to make banku. We find tilapia, and there are lots of people doing banku and tilapia, and everyone enjoy. We are all enjoying it.
Yeah.
They are the kenke sellers. So start aggregating the number of people it can employ, and you see the young people can enter that space and compete with the existing people and do it even better. And some people young are doing that, but they don't realize that. They look at it from another angle. They feel, well, who wants to be a kenke seller after having a university degree? Wrong.
Exactly, that is the problem. I think that is the issue that we need to deal with. How do we look at the negative, or how do we use, or how do we, scale down the negative perception people have about entering jobs in the agri sector? It's a very serious issue. And that, I think, is one of the fundamental questions that we need to address as a nation and as a continent.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad. And I recall a story when I was pretty young. I used to visit my grandfather in the village, and I always enjoyed because he was a cocoa farmer. The reason why I enjoyed it, when I go there, I do nothing. I just play under the cocoa, trees. And I run across like that while they cut the cocoa pods. I run and then eat some, and I just enjoy the cold, serene atmosphere. So one day my grandfather calls me and said, okay, you're going back to school after the holidays. I'm going to give you a task. I had no clue what he wanted me to do. He said, you're going with your auntie to one of my farms. And it was a cocoa farm with a lot of contemporary in there. So he said, when you go, you are going to harvest as many contemporary leaves. They call it spinach, but I know contemporary. So you are going to harvest as much as whatever you harvest is for you. Can you believe this? I didn't understand what he meant. So I just, with my little hands, I was able to harvest as much as I could. Then when we go home, say, oh, you've done well, give it to your auntie who will take it to the market and will sell it, and the money will go into your penny box. I was super excited. But I got sad when I grew up.
Why?
You know why? He was the first person to teach me entrepreneurship.
Oh.
But I didn't get the input
The
of what
lesson.
was. He was trying to tell me that I have given you a big field. Go and harvest as much as. I had no plan, I was so little, I had no idea that he was introducing me to a very important element of life. So I said, I could have gone with a bigger basket. I could have gone with a lot of kotoku. I could have gone earlier. I could have gone with my friends. I could have mobilized other people to go along with me. After all, he said, as much as you can. And I would have been far richer because that was my first let's say, money that my grandfather gave me, I could have been like a millionaire by now. But lesson learned, now I am teaching people to be smarter and wiser than I was when I was that age. So, point is, there is nothing wrong being a practitioner. Maybe it's the name farmer people don't like. So why don't we find a very exciting name like an agribusiness practitioner?
Agribusiness
practitioner.
Where do you work?
Sorry?
Yum. I mean, what are you doing presently? Well, right now I'm an agribusiness practitioner.
Of course, now, because designers are now designers. They don't like some stress.
Yes.
Security experts. You know, there's so many nice names that will encourage young people to come on board. Maybe we should begin to look at it from that.
Agribusiness practitioner, and we evolved it from here. And so we will from there would we have to go, unfortunately, for a quick break. Okay. When we return, we'll continue this conversation and look at it. Okay, so we have the opportunity to see the value chain, how widespread it is. We've seen the potential of just one crop, maize, to employ about 300,000 people. We've actually broken down how different people can find themselves space. So the young gentleman who messaged me this afternoon to say, oh, he's broke, there's a job for you. Come together with your friends. Go to someone's farm, like Maureen was asked to do, and right now she's got a new idea. The next time she will not go alone. She'll go with a team and work there. And believe me, doesn't matter where you start from, whether it's from underemployment, but at least you will get something. But I can show you, depending on where you work in the agribusiness, you could become, well employed. And we are going to move from the first entry point and see how we will cruise at 33,000 feet before we end this program. Don't go anywhere. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we continue this conversation.
Get me York's rent-a-car. I need a car in 15 minutes. Hi, I'm Jake Morris, and I travel globally. But when I'm in Ghana, York's Rent-A-Car is my reliable choice for safety and comfort on the road. York's Rent-A-Car provides comprehensive logistics services to mainly blue-chip companies as well as individual clients.
At the time, we needed a car rental service, and York's fitted in very well per our standards.
Their services is top-notch. Drivers are on time.
It was beautiful to see them behind the wheels. And anytime they pick up a guest, the guests were very, very happy.
Already? Excellent. York's Rent-A-Car provides services and expertise that include meet and greet services at the airport, car rental, driver personal outsourcing, and vehicle detailing.
What's the problem? Rizio, I told you, York's Rent-A-Car delivers world-class service to its customers, having their highest safety and comfort in mind. So watch him. Go over and open for him.
York's Rent-A-Car runs 24/7 operations where customers can make car reservations and inquiries of our services online and also call our hotline.
Welcome back to the Springborn Hangouts, and today we are looking at agribusiness and the agri-value chain and what impact it has for us as a country and as a continent. And we started by realizing that indeed, though agri may have a negative perception, somebody's eyeing me here. It should be the other way around, because it's the most exciting field that young people can enter into. And the opportunity there is so wide that one plant, maize, can employ more than 300,000 people if we put our hands to it or we put our minds to it. And so Maureen, who is our friend, who is a practicing entrepreneur. She has taught many people how to be an entrepreneur. She's a practicing entrepreneur, as well as an agribusiness lady, is the one taking us through this. Maureen, I had a question. Somebody sent a question from Nima right now, and I want to find that she is a lady But sometimes she faces some barriers. When she says that she wants to go into the agribusiness, she faces, but why?
That's an interesting thing. You know, when I was growing up, I don't know, but I just had passion for agribusiness. So my first love really was agribusiness, maybe because of my grandfather. So when I finished school, I read agribusiness first degree. I asked, can I start a farm? I thought I could start. They said, well, you're a lady. That was the first thing they told me. I didn't understand even that one. I said, what does it mean you're a lady? Oh, you know, as for women, you can't do hard work. I said, I don't know. I studied agribusiness in school.
That is your speciality.
That's my speciality. When I was even in school, I bought livestock. I cultivated maize, and I enjoyed it. So now that I've finished, why not? They said, oh, second, they said, you know, the land is family land. We have a lot of land. But, you know, it is for the men. The men will use it, and you are a woman. You can use the land, but you can't own land. Another shock to me. I didn't even understand that. All I knew was we have a lot of land. My grandfather left a lot of land. Nobody seemed to be using it. I want to use it. First barrier, you are a woman. Okay. So I was still navigating. But they told me something. They said, well, if you really want to do farming, find money and buy your own land. Because a woman is supposed to marry, and when she marries, you can't take that land
into your
along.
marriage.
But I still didn't get it. So you see, the lady asking that question is real. There are real subtle barriers that kind of excludes women. However, in certain communities and tribes, women get access to land. On my paternal side, they have a lot of land, and it's the women who manage these lands.
Fantastic.
But it was very interesting to me. But over time, I got to understand why. Good. So, because I was very determined to do this, I said, okay, I will save and buy my own land. So I started saving to buy my own land. But the point is, if you should start a cocoa farm, which is really profitable because the government buys everything year in, year out, you are making money. What happens is that you are growing something for 40 years, 50 years. Who should give you a family land for 40 years when the thing belongs to the community? That is why women won't get access to land. But now things are changing. Thankfully, there's a new policy, there's a new land policy and act, and some of these things are encouraging people to give women land. But that barrier still exists to an extent. So if you're a woman and you really want to go into this thing, you need to start saving, buy your own land. Otherwise, you face a challenge. So I could only start my real farm after I bought my land. And I don't owe anybody any explanation. My family has given me land. I now went back and thought about what they told me. I said, supposing I want to do a 40-year investment, that would be a problem.
That would have been a challenge.
So that's why you find a lot of women doing things like cassava. It is 1 year, a crop that you can just cultivate within a year, you take it out. So women look for the low-hanging fruits and start from there, make some money, save, and then you can move into those long-term investments. So for example, you have cassava. A lot of women play a key role in the cassava value chain, where I also specialize in, because I realize that's where a lot of women play a key role. Now, you see them cultivating, they weed, they will take it, and most of them will be using it for gari. Some will use it for aglima, like the meal that they add to the corn. Some will use it for other things, and most of them will use it in chop bars, traditional restaurants, for fufu and stuff like that. But it is not too profitable.
Why?
Because of the way they go about it. So you should go to these communities where they actually process agbilima and stuff like that. I just look at them and I said, this is where the government needs to do something. They use traditional manual ways of processing gari. It is not healthy. It is not safe for consumption. Can you imagine? So I didn't like eating gari because of the way they make gari.
So don't do that. If you do that, I'll stop eating gari.
I always tell people that when I think about fufu and gari, I don't feel like eating because I start thinking about somebody.
Fufu suffers from that because of me. I mean, from that anger.
You know, that food safety element is key. People are using it. They are picking their
Come on.
That is the reality, and they've trained them. Yet it is habits. So we that have gone to school.
How do we do it?
Good. So we need to now get technology that takes away all those drudgeries and all those unsafe practices and
train them.
So that's why at our end we train them in how to do safe gari processing. We started doing this gari, and now I eat gari. Even today I ate gari. I ate
So
gari.
let's look at some of the stuff that we have on our.
All from
this
cassava.
is and food. Yeah.
UN food.
Okay, so because your why? Let me find out why cassava. Why the cassava value chain?
Cassava, because if you take Ghana, cassava can grow almost anywhere and everywhere.
Okay.
It's very easy to grow. Within a year, if you use very good improved seedlings, you'll be surprised that one cassava, you can get about 40 to 50 tubers, can huge ones. When I did my farm, I was shocked. I have so many pictures to show. One cassava is like my arm, one like my lower thigh. Huge! I was super excited, like yam. Huge ones, So if you use improved varieties, you make more. Your yield per acre increases. You can make up to 12, 13, tons from an acre of land, okay? But cassava in itself doesn't have high price until you add value.
Okay.
If you can buy cassava, when you take it home, it will get spoiled. After eating fufu, what else? Nothing else. So we think cassava is just for fufu, but no. Thankfully, we have meat fufu and other people beginning to mill it and extend the shelf life of cassava, which is awesome. That is what more women should do. They should go beyond the agbelema and stuff like that and start adding real value. Why is it that? Not until we saw meat fufu that we remembered that we can eat meat fufu. But you go to most households, I don't like meat fufu, don't make me meat fufu, I like the pampine and the shinshing.
So it implies that our rate of adoption of our value-added foods is one of the things that is hindering our progress of even
value addition.
Value addition. So guys, Charlie, those of you who claim that, ladies, that you're not going to eat fufu that is not pounded, stop it, because you are the same person not giving us jobs to have in this country.
Because of poverty, people can't afford this one. Now I saw one neat fufu, not neat, but another fufu
brand,
45 cedis for 1 kg. Yes. So why don't you switch to kokonte, which I have here?
Kokonte, yes, and this one is it's looking very white, eh?
Yes, when you make it excellent, neatly done. When you eat it, you will never go back to fufu.
Oh.
Yes. And people don't know. They think kokonte is face the wall. This is brown fufu. This is not kokonte, it's brown fufu.
It's brown fufu.
Brown fufu. And when you take it with even light soap, palm soap, granite soap, excellent. It's lighter. You can slim down within 30 days if you eat this one. Fufu makes you just fall and it's so heavy. You can't move. You start sleeping.
Have you in any way, kind of reduced some of the weight in the traditional cassava that we have to make this?
Not really.
Not really.
Straight from the farm. You just take it through a process, highly hygienic, safe, and it gives you high quality brown fufu comparable to any fufu you can eat. It's safer and even healthier.
So this one is mine.
Oh yes, then try it and then tell me how you feel about it.
The guys,
I know. The good thing about this one, you can just make it and keep it in the fridge. You just warm it like warming banku and you eat.
Really?
Yes.
So you don't have to do it every time.
No way.
So you can actually decide to process
once a week. Yes.
Once a week and put it in the fridge and then you are good.
Exactly.
Okay, right.
And for example, Nkulenu has this. Abenkwai.
Inkulenu. Let me say that Inkulenu was one of the first people to start food processing in Ghana. And she has kept her brand,
Exactly.
This one has precursor in it. And beautiful. I just realized that precursor is so good for your health.
And
Bedu. Yes, as for Bedu, I actually sometimes even blend Bedu by itself, with maybe some fruits. So that's my smoothie. Right. Instead of having just the fruit, which is, really sugary, I make it more healthy by adding the Bedu to it and makes it more.
That's value addition. There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Can I benefit from? Can I commercial benefit?
It's a recipe. You have to, make sure you register this patent, and then you just make sure that you give it to the restaurants, and then that's it.
Right.
And the simple things.
Right.
You register the recipe, you go to the hotels, you promote it, they pay you some dough for using that. But that's why we don't do well here. Our IP system, it is there, but people are not using it. Intellectual property, that is where the money is. That is where the money really is. In agribusiness, people are using Apple. Apple doesn't belong to anybody, but now it's for somebody's brand. Apple. Registered Apple. Used to register mango. Okra.
Guys, it was a very, very subtle tip, but it's so powerful. We say that we don't have businesses. But all we need for a real business to take off is an idea. And we are sitting here, we are asking, we are challenging you. Where is your business idea in agriculture? It's not just farming. It's the idea about making, a product from different food items that you eat on a regular basis, and asking yourself, is there any way that a different combination could be a real market changer? And with that, your job is right there. Who says he or she does not have a job tonight after listening to this broadcast? Come and see me and we'll talk again. Yes, let's go. No, I'm really, because I have so many people back, in my inbox. So I need, and I'm like, and it breaks my heart when I feel that I don't have an office job for you. But here is an opportunity. Anywhere you are, you don't have to be in Accra or in Kumasi. Exactly. Anywhere you are, you can be in Zwarungu, you can be in Wa. As Maureen said, cassava grows anywhere. Have the good variety and you find yourself in a good place. Yes, Maureen, tell us more. So, I see here, this is the last product that we'll look at today, and then we'll now go into some, other aspects that I want to talk about.
Just to prove that cassava is multifaceted. We have gari from cassava, we have kokonte from cassava, we have fufu from cassava. I have even produced cassava flour. Where is the cassava flour?
I think we didn't put some out. Yes,
cassava flour.
Cassava flour somewhere. Okay.
Yes, I have cassava pancake. I have cassava float.
Cassava,
yes,
pancake.
It's even healthier than the wheat one.
Are you serious?
Yes, Russia and everything, they are all creating high demand for this, and the prices are soaring. We can substitute wheat flour with our own cassava flour. I've done cassava buffalo, cassava, name it.
Just a minute. We are bringing the things onto the stage. Yes, indeed. So which one is this one?
So this is cassava. Oh, no, this is the cassava flour. So this cassava flour can be substituted, can be used for baking.
For baking. Ordinary baking.
Ordinary
How
baking.
did you do it?
Hey, that's my IP.
What process? Okay, so let me tell how did you do that process of getting that IP, getting that idea to process cassava into flour? How did that idea come to you?
Interestingly, before you can do anything, you need to be someone who is good at solving problems.
Okay.
You need to understand where is the problem and see if you have the expertise, the resources, the capacity, the finances to solve that problem. I set up one day, so we used to eat kose. Thanks to Professor Akosa, I said everybody eat kose. So suddenly the price of beans started running.
Yeah.
But that's the good thing, because it made beans a commodity that is sought after.
Yeah.
So the moment we get the policy right, and we get the problem and we solve it, farmers will make money.
Yeah.
Actors in the chain will make money. The banks will make money. The government will make money. So why don't we actively look for problems in the agribusiness value chains? We eat bread every day. Okay. We are importing from somewhere, either Russia or Ukraine or someplace, and from everywhere else except Ghana. Can't we substitute wheat flour with cassava flour? So my challenge was, okay, so all these things we have, they've been talking about this, a lot of research. How can I be part of the solution? So I said, okay, let's go. I started my research while I was doing my PhD, and I started presenting papers on cassava. Everything they said I should do, Maureen will present a paper related to cassava. And
Dr. Cassava.
I was just so happy. Anytime I finished presenting, I was happy. Then COVID struck, and I said, now that school is closed
It's on
and
strike.
nothing's happening, let me go and do a cassava farm. That's how I started the cassava farm. And I got some people to train them to see how a cassava farm can be done. And within a short time, when then the cassava cover had just formed, and I went and take pictures, and I was just enjoying the place. And everyone who came around was like, whoa. Then when the cassava came out, then we said, okay, we know there's a problem with fufu, because the price of meat fufu was going up, and the others, not exactly what people would like to eat, face the wall is not exactly what people want to eat. How can we make that one? So we rename it brown fufu.
Okay.
We are solving the problem of face the wall, black alatus. You know, people feel ashamed even eating that one.
Because also, it's because of the way it was processed.
Yes, they are processed
The
in
process,
a very
yes, and very unhygienic
exactly.
environment. But now
Exactly.
this is done in very hygienic
ways. And
place.
organic. No addition of any form of chemicals.
Seriously?
Yes, not an iota, not even a dot. And that people want to eat healthy. Kokonte is one of the healthiest meals you can get from Ghana. Weight loss, lower blood sugar, colon cancer. It is so good, but people don't know. You know, so to solve the problem, you must understand the problem and the solutions you can offer, and then begin to explore the opportunities. I will be there, then I'll hear crank, 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 my momo. People are just ordering. I thought it was a joke because I was just doing research. But then I realized this is real. People really are looking for kokonte to eat. But they were shy. And I had to take it to levels. So banks will be ordering. All the workers would like to take it to the house over the weekend. Do it. Good thing is that when you do it, you can eat it for a whole week. So I solved a major problem of convenience. You don't want to be cooking fufu now, pampang and all those things. So find a problem, identify how you intend to solve it, look at your business idea, build a business model, develop a business plan, test your product or your idea in the marketplace, and then come back and start improving and scaling. Basically, that is our model for training young people who want to go into agribusiness. Simple. It is very no long. Look at Kontomre, my friend Kontomre. Look at how Nkulenu has packaged Kontomre beautifully.
She actually dehydrates
It's
it though.
dehydrated.
And it's ready.
And it's ready to go.
So you don't have to wash it.
Nothing.
The itch that you sometimes you itch when you wash kotumbre in water is also gone.
Exactly.
And it's very hygienic.
Very
So this one too is going home.
Yeah, so it's solving a problem.
Okay,
you see,
okay,
you don't want to be itchy and all that. Then comes this beautiful jollof.
Who did it?
This one is done by a lady called Delis Coast. Jollof. We all love jollof, don't we?
Yeah.
Sure. But why can't someone stop eating the jollof and think of putting it together so that others can eat jollof too? So she solved the problem. This can go for export any day, anyhow. I won't be surprised in getting dollars all the way, you know.
I love it because this one, it means that you just put it in the, and
That's
you don't,
all.
when you get to the border, they won't ask you for, do you have that thing is very embarrassing.
I know.
Especially if you have some
all
old
those-
lady, you have some old lady in the house who says that when you're coming, bring me
A little Kobe and
Kobe.
money, you know.
Kobe. Oh, did you see that video where somebody's bag was coming out and the
Crabs and snails were coming out of the bag. Very embarrassing. Then if you're a Ghanaian and you're traveling and then you start looking away. Oh God, my people, have mercy.
Oh Lord, have
You see
mercy.
a crab jumping over stuff.
Lordy, all the smells. These have come to solve those problems. So now, if you are going abroad, you can easily package these things and send them. No issue.
No issue. Look, another simple Tom Brown. Very nicely packaged. You just get this. There you go. For students, very convenient.
So it means that
Mothers,
oh,
especially.
You guys, guys, we are waiting for your ideas. When will you send us your ideas? So that I would also bring you to the studio to showcase the idea that you have had. You have now gone into some aspects of the agribusiness value chain. Maureen, I mean, I'm so excited with what you are sharing today. You are telling me that, but you know, all said and done, why are we going to the thing? Because we want money, right? So show us the most profitable part. Let's cut.
Profitable.
Just cut out some of the, you know. It's not that we don't like the other parts, but I think cash is king. Yeah. So show us, where is the money?
You know, interesting. When it comes to agriculture and agribusiness, I make it very simple. You have to look at where you have your strength. In the air, when it comes to agri, there is money. On the tree, there is money. Beneath the tree or beneath the crop, there is money in the soil. So all levels, there's money. Let's take for an example. Have you heard about Isoko?
Yeah.
Isoko is the farmer's friend. Guess what they do? They package climate information, market information, basic agricultural information, where to find seed, and they package it and they sell it to farmers. It is in the air.
So those of us who did computer science,
Exactly.
all we have to do is decide that
Exactly.
if we decide that we are focusing on cassava, what information can we package about cassava and put it out there for others to learn? We decide that no, we are not going to focus on cassava. We are going to focus on, let's say, rice or maize or whatever. And so we'll get that information, put it together and sell it out. That's what you're talking about.
Exactly. And my point is that no matter what you studied at school, agri comes in. You can be a doctor, but you can find a way to make your medical whatever relatable. I have my daughter's friend, Gifty. She does this beautiful smoothies, and she has all these mints and herbs and stuff. And because she's a doctor, when she presents that smoothie to you, what do you think? She's giving you something healthy. A doctor will never give you something that is bad. You know, so you can be an engineer. I have one student like that who is getting an award this week. He's a mechanical engineer. He has fashioned out beautiful metal equipment to help farmers, breaking the cocoa pod, getting the pod out, the beans out. That's value addition, but he's using his mechanical engineering. If you're a computer scientist, look for a problem, use your technology. It doesn't matter what you studied at school. Marketer, come collect this one and start marketing. You make a commission on it. So you don't even have to start doing farming or even producing anything. Use the skill set you have. Come for this cassava flour. Go to all the bakeries and say, look, substitute your wheat. Cut down the amount of money.
And that's cheaper than. Do you have it bigger? Do you have it bigger bags?
We have skills. We have bigger skills. It depends on what you want. So, I mean, there's so much one can do. You can just go to the market, see a product and say, look, I like this. I have the skill to market. Can I partner with you? I market. You pay me a commission and start making a little money. When people know that you're able to deliver, why not? People start ordering big. You are getting your money. The person too is producing. So that's where, Ghana, I think we need to work on. We should learn to come together, collaborate, and help value chains to expand. So that it's not everybody who can produce. You may not have money to produce, but somebody has produced. Go partner with the person, sell, make money, easy. Whether you're a worker, whether you're a student, you can be a partner in agribusiness.
Whether you are a worker, whether you are a student, you can be a partner in agribusiness. Therefore, those of us who do CIMG and we are home, we don't have any business, look for someone who is in agribusiness and go and market their products. You are somebody who does supply chain. You don't have a job. Go and look for someone and say, I can help you improve the way you do your products, and this is how my knowledge can help you. So the agri-value chain, there is space for every single one of you. who is watching who doesn't have a job? If you put your hands up, the challenge is to you. Go and find where your skills will plug into the agri value chain. It has been phenomenal having you, Maureen, as usual. You always bring that verve into the studio. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I must say, this Sunday, we have the privilege of listening to Reverend Albert again as he comes your way with the Springboard Virtual University. Tune in at 7 o'clock at Joy FM. And then also, it will be repeated on Joy Prime. Do tune in as well. All I can say to you is that, have a phenomenal week. And you are blessed. You are loved. Where are you in the agri value chain? I would love to see you. And come and take your products and eat it as I enjoy crossing my legs, showing myself off. I love you. Enjoy a phenomenal week. Bye.